Hi, today we're talking about litigation. What is litigation and what is civil litigation? Litigation is the process of one party or person taking legal action against another person through the court system. There are two main types of litigation: civil litigation and criminal litigation. In a criminal litigation case, the state or the authorities is the party that takes legal action against an offender to prosecute him for a criminal offence that he's accused of having committed. Offenders who are eventually found guilty by the court are punished with different types of penalties such as fines, community service, probation, or even imprisonment, depending on the type of offence. In a civil litigation case, however, one party called the plaintiff takes legal action against another party called the defendant to ask the court to order a variety of different outcomes, such as to order the defendant to pay unpaid monies, to pay compensation, to stop him from acting in a certain way, or even to demand that he carry out certain actions that he's promised to. Civil cases involve conflicts, disputes, and disagreements between people and organizations and companies, and they very often happen over money-related issues or the rights of parties under an agreement or a contract that they've signed. A civil case usually starts with the plaintiff asking the court for help because he has been harmed or suffered loss as a result of the defendant's actions. The type of help that the plaintiff will ask for would depend on the actual situation that he's in. For example, the plaintiff may ask the court to award something called damages, which is money to compensate him for any financial loss he has suffered, or he may ask for something called an injunction, which is a court order that either stops the defendant from doing something harmful to him or forces the defendant to do something that he's promised to do earlier on. Or the plaintiff may even seek something called a declaration, which is the court's decision on how to officially interpret the rights under a written contract or agreement. To decide how to resolve the dispute for a case, the court will always look at the facts to figure out what really happened, and then apply the law and legal principles to those facts, and then decide who should win the case and get the outcome that they've been asking for. Civil cases can also be resolved by the parties themselves without the court making a decision. The parties themselves can try to negotiate amongst themselves and try to reach a compromise to settle their dispute. People sometimes choose to settle their dispute because they can avoid having to pay substantial legal costs if the case were to continue, and they can also avoid the risk of losing at a trial. So there you have it, some very basic information on what litigation means and what civil litigation specifically means. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.